Digimon Story Stranger has been out on other platforms for a hot minute, but it is finally hitting the Nintendo Switch and the brand new Switch 2 this week. But before you go dropping your hard-earned cash on this port, there are some massive changes, especially on the hardware side, that you absolutely need to know before you hit that buy button. First up, let's talk performance, because if you're picking this up on the Switch 2, you're actually getting a major choice in how the game runs. Developers packed in two distinct graphic settings. If you want pure eye candy, visual mode pushes a native 4K resolution but caps your frame rate at 30 frames per second. But honestly, for a massive turn-based JRPG like this, you're probably going to want to flip it over to performance mode. This drops the target resolution down to 1080p, but it locks the game at a buttery smooth 60 frames per second. Trust me, when you're triggering those massive screen-clearing attack animations, that extra smoothness makes a world of difference. Number 2 is a massive warning for my physical collectors out there, because Bandai Namco is doing something a bit weird with the retail boxes. If you buy the standard base Nintendo Switch version physically, you get a traditional game cartridge. Simple, right? But if you buy the dedicated Switch 2 physical edition box, it doesn't actually have a cartridge inside. Instead, it's just a digital download code printed on a key card inside a plastic case. So, if you're someone who loves having actual physical media to collect, preserve, or share with friends, keep that in mind before you buy the upgraded box. You do not have to risk your wallet to try this out. There is a free demo live on the eShop right now, and the best part, Bandai has already confirmed that any progress you make, any Digimon you train, and whatever story chapters you clear in the opening hours will carry over completely into the full game on launch day. It's a literal zero-risk test drive, so you might as well get a head start on the grind before the official launch. Alright, now that the tech stuff is out of the way, let's dive into what this game is actually about, because if you're expecting a lighthearted cartoonish adventure, Time Stranger is going to completely throw you for a loop. The narrative team went a lot darker and bolder this time around. Point number 4 is the general setup. Instead of playing as a random kid who accidentally stumbles into the internet, you take on the role of Dan or Kanan, a highly trained secret agent working for a covert organization called Adamus. Your actual day job is tracking down and containing dangerous digital anomalies that are bleeding into the real-world streets of Tokyo. It instantly gives the game a cool, urban sci-fi detective vibe right out of the gate. But things escalate fast, which brings us to number 5. The Shinjuku Inferno. Early in the game, your routine investigation goes completely sideways when a catastrophic war breaks out between massive Digimon right in the middle of the city. The sheer force of the clash tears open a space-time rift that swallows your character whole and flings you exactly 8 years into the past. It's an explosive cliffhanger-style opening that immediately hooks you because you're left trying to figure out how to prevent this apocalyptic disaster from ever happening in the first place. Number 6 is the setting itself, and this is a massive upgrade. If you played the older Cyber Sleuth games, you probably remember running through a lot of generic, glowing blue cyber dungeons that all kind of looked the same. Time Stranger throws all of that out. Instead, you spend your time exploring Iliad, a separate, highly detailed realm of the digital world. Iliad is currently torn apart by a brutal civil war led by a rogue faction of giant Digimon known as the Titans. It feels like a living, breathing fantasy world with actual stakes, and the environments are gorgeous to look at. If you're worried about dropping your money on a short experience, don't be. The core narrative-driven campaign is going to take you anywhere from 30 to 40 hours just to roll the credits, and that's if you're mostly focusing on the main story beats. If you're a completionist who wants to hunt down every side quest and uncover the alternate timelines, you can easily double that number. Alright, let's look at the absolute meat of the game, the combat. If you're coming into this thinking it's going to play exactly like a standard Pokemon game, you're in for a massive surprise. Mediavision built a deeply tactical system here that honors classic RPG roots. This is an uncompromising traditional turn-based JRPG system. Instead of the simultaneous turn selection you see in Pokemon, Time Stranger plays out a lot closer to games like Shin Megami Tensei or Dragon Quest Monsters. Turn order is dictated by your Digimon's speed stats and is visible right on the screen. This means you can actively plan your turns ahead, manipulate the timeline, and lock down enemies before they even get a chance to breathe. It's snappy, satisfying, and forces you to actually think. Moving on to number 9, your squad's size in this game is absolutely massive. You aren't just running around with 1 or 2 monsters. players. Your party can hold a grand total of up to 9 slots at the exact same time. You'll have 3 active Digimon out on the battlefield doing the heavy lifting under your direct control, 3 reserve slots sitting in your backup pocket that you can swap in when things get hairy, and up to 3 separate guest slots for story allies who will fight alongside you with their own AI. It can feel like managing a small army, but it makes the major boss fights feel genuinely epic. Number 10 is the weakness grid, and it's a double-layered puzzle. On the surface, you have your classic rock, paper, scissors matchup: data beats vaccine, vaccine beats virus, and virus beats data. If you match that up right, you'll tear through standard enemies, but to take down the tough bosses, you have to layer that with their secondary elemental traits, things like fire, earth, water, and the new planet element. Finding a Digimon that has both the right attribute and the right element lets you melt health bars incredibly fast. The human protagonist actually matters in battle. You aren't just a coach yelling from the sidelines as your Digimon dish out and take damage during a fight. You'll accumulate cross points or CP. Once that meter fills up, your human agent can unleash what's called a cross art. These are massive tide-turning moves that can focus a nuclear-level blast on a single target, wipe out an entire wave of enemies at once, or completely clutch out a full party heal when your team is on the brink of death. Saving your CP for the exact right moment is the key to surviving the game's hardest dungeons. The infamous evolve and de-evolve mechanic is back in full force. There are over 450 Digimon to collect in this game, but you can't just level a monster up in a straight line and expect to get a god-tier mega form like Jupitermon. To break past hidden level caps and boost your Digimon's base potential stats, you have to constantly evolve them forward, hit a wall, and then purposefully de-evolve them back down to a lower form to rebuild their stats even higher. It's an incredibly addictive mechanic if you love optimization, but it takes time. There's something you need to look out for the second you hatch or scan a new monster: personalities. Very similar to Pokemon's nature system, every single Digimon you get rolls with one of 4 core personalities: philanthropy, valor, understanding, or heart. These aren't just for flavor text, they dramatically alter how your Digimon's stats grow when they level up. If you're trying to build a heavy-hitting physical attacker, but they roll a personality that boosts magical defense, you're gonna have a rough time. Pay attention to these early so you don't waste hours training the wrong monster. Which leads directly into point 14, and I'm going to give you some real talk here. Expect a heavy grind. If you just want to cruise through the main story, you can get away with a decent casual squad. But if you want to unlock the absolute strongest Ultra and Mega forms, or clear the post-game dungeons, you're going to be fighting a lot of repetitive random battles. If you absolutely hate grinding in JRPGs, this game might test your patience. And finally, point number 15, how the game helps you respect your time and the controversial way it handles it. MediaVision knew this game was a massive time sink, so they built an excellent quality of life features. You can toggle battle speeds between 2x, 3x, and even a blistering 5x speed, alongside a fully customizable auto battle system. However, Bandai Namco is also selling a paid Outer Dungeons DLC on day one. This gives you access to specific maps designed purely to shower you in massive amounts of EXP and money. It completely trivializes the grind. But it sucks that a solution to a grindy game is locked behind extra real-world cash. So what's the final verdict? If you love Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth and you're looking for a deep, gorgeous, turn-based JRPG to break in your Switch 2, Digimon Story Time Stranger is an absolute must-play. Just be ready for the grind. If this video helped you decide whether to buy or skip, do me a massive favor and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more gaming breakdowns, and let me know in the comments which Digimon you're aiming to get on your squad first. Until next time, see ya!